When a student does not have a pencil, offer to trade it of something of value to the student. That way you ensure that the student gets the pencil that they need and that you get the pencil back at the end. Offer to take something like a shoe or a duffel bag for dance.
Switch questions around in quizzes and/or activities. This will ensure a limited amount of cheating. For example, if you do a quiz and number 1 was A, then for the next class, switch it so that number 1 is now B. This way, people cannot simply tell another person that this answer is A or B. They would have to describe the question and makes it much harder to remember. To control your class, use bells or rain sticks to quiet them down. Bells work by giving off a high noise that they cannot ignore. Rain sticks give off noises that take longer so that they can finish up their conversations. But by the time the noise stops coming from the rain stick, their noise must also be off. Be sarcastic or say funny things frequently to get kids to enjoy the class period and like you more. Give the class time to do any possible homework in class. We do have lives and we want free time. Students have a lot of things that they do in their spare time, and they don't want to be cluttered up with homework from your class and from many others. Grade the students on how much they improved. Don't necessarily tell them that that's what you're grading them on. You can also grade them on effort. If you tell a student that you're grading on improvement, they're going to start out very slow and end up with their full potential, or maybe only half their potential because that's what it'll take to get an A. If a student cannot do it on a pretest, then you want to make sure that they do get a higher score on their actual test. This will show that they have improved and they have earned the grade. Give out candy or treats for anybody who can answer things at the end of class, things about what they have learned, or perhaps you're doing a game and you want them to earn what they get. So give them something sweet that they'll remember and that they'll want. Play games with the class, such as Jeopardy! The winners shall get a prize that could be moderately useful to them. Candy is always a sweet alternative to a prize, and have them choose the prize that they want. A pen, especially in a color of pink, may not always be what is useful. Perhaps some tasty-looking erasers, some fun pencil grips, a pencil that they could actually use during the day if they never get one, or even just a little toy like a ball would work as gifts to these students to help them learn and want to learn. Don't make students listen through lectures. They lose interest. Don't make them write straight notes from lectures or a movie or books. Instead, try to give them a note outline where they have to fill in the important words of what you want them to learn onto an outlined form. This can be done with a PowerPoint. Put a PowerPoint on the projector, and then the students will watch and have to interact with the PowerPoint. This is not as boring as a lecture or a bookwork. Worksheets are also a better alternative than bookwork because students lose interest with reading books. Worksheets are much easier because there's a lot less words for them to have to focus on. Plus, it also teaches them to learn how to read directions instead of just reading a book. Turn on music while the students work, preferably something that the students will want to listen to. Perhaps Disney, or perhaps something more fun that they've never heard of. Maybe they'd like to listen to the Barenaked Ladies. Always go school appropriate, the Barenaked Ladies are, and they're fun and sing strange songs all over the place with a lot of different themes that will make kids laugh. Have a daily logic problem or puzzle that they solve, such as rebuses. Blackout would be a box with the word black outside of it. You would give them the box and the word black, but you would not tell them what it means, and they would have to guess. Hold on to me. Hold on top of to me. Big money. All caps, money. Fly ball. Give them a picture of a fly and a picture of a ball. Simple rebuses like this will start the brain working and are fun to try to figure out. You can also use these to release them from lunch, and if they do not figure them out, they cannot go to lunch. Give lots of examples. In kinetic and potential energy, you may want to give examples of roller coasters, something that the students will know. Or show a ball and a slope, and make the ball roll down the slope. Show why it has either potential or kinetic energy at this point. Visuals often help in examples, because they're easier to relate to. Not every student is visual learners, though, so give some math problems if you're talking about kinetic and potential energy, too. Make sure that they have work on the board that they can look at, and things that the teacher does to make sure that they understand every little bit. Use an attendance question when you're taking attendance. This is fun for everybody, and you can be done fast and try to time the class to see if they can beat a previous score. For example, ask them if you could be locked in an elevator with one celebrity, who would it be? Have the class take turns, in order, when you call their name, saying which celebrity they'd like to be locked up with in an elevator. Use a laser pointer, yardstick, or meter stick to point at the work up on the board. You don't want to stand in front of your work. This happens a lot, and teachers don't know when this happens. So you use a laser pointer or a yard or meter stick to point at the work and explain things, with definitely being out of the way. Do a lot of activities. For example, if you're an English teacher and you're making them read the book The Riddle of the Gnome, you can do many different activities with this. You can do comic strips, pictures, perhaps an atlas, and many more, like debates. With a lot of different activities, you can have a lot of different things to do. You want a variety of activities, and kids will respond better by liking certain things more. Always take their advice when they say, "I like this." Like a substitute teacher, for example. When a student says, "We don't like this substitute teacher," don't get that substitute teacher again. There's a reason they do not like that teacher. You would rather have a substitute that students like and still gets the work done. Create a point system for earning good behavior in class. Make a chart like this. On one side, put the periods. Next to that, tally mark how many points they have earned. This is best done on a whiteboard because then you can just stroke one out whenever they are acting poorly. This allows you to be a little bit tougher on them, and it makes them be quiet faster because they're going to want to earn the chart shown to the right. What they're earning will appear next to what they've earned. For example, period 1 has chosen to earn candy. They're currently at 7 points. Period 2 is earning a movie. They're currently at 13 points. The chart to the right shows what they could earn. 10 points for some class candy, 20 points for a free day for just simple work or no homework, and 30 points for a movie. These can be very hard to earn because the class needs to stay on task and work together to keep each other quiet. You will see noticeable results because these students will want a movie, perhaps, or maybe they're just gunning for some candy. You can go beyond 30 points. And in the period section, If you have 2 days and 6 periods per day, you can number them off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perhaps even put the day. Draw pictures for the students. Students like to see teachers draw pictures. It makes them feel better about their art skill, especially if the teacher's drawings are very poor. A tutu, for example, or a hat. Say you were doing a story problem in math, and you wanted to see how many hats, and you're trying to explain to kids how to add hats in elementary school. You could draw a hat, and draw many more. Students like to see how teachers draw them, and being humble about it also helps, because it makes them feel like their drawings are worth a lot more than they think. Don't give too much homework. I'm a high schooler, and I know how much homework teachers give. This is my backpack on a night that I fill it with homework. My parents are divorced, so I have to take a backpack from house to house with only my homework. This is how thick it is. Clearly, it has not reached its full potential, but on my day 2s, it reaches full potential. On day 1s, it gets even farther than this. When backpacks weigh a lot, they start to rip, and they hurt the kid's back. I know my back hurts every day on a day 2, and half the time on day 1s. Don't give kids more than one assignment each night. First of all, you'll get a bad reputation for being the teacher who likes to give out homework. Secondly, it's still debatable whether homework actually helps or not. It's more of a learning style, whether you master it in class or whether you need to take it home and learn more. In math, you may need to learn it more. You probably won't need to learn as much about extra things. I weighed my backpack, and this backpack full of my homework is 17.5 pounds. It is 3/4 into the year. Currently, all my schoolwork combined counts for over 40 pounds. That is way too much to be giving to students. Don't make them take textbooks to and from school every day, and don't give them too many textbooks in the first place. Give them worksheets and don't give them homework every once in a while. We need the break. We need our own time. There are other things that we could be doing with our time, like school clubs, and anything else that we might want to do but can't because we're now cluttered with homework. And some students work faster than others, so this does not mean hoist a lot of homework on so that the students who work faster get what they fully need. Think about the students who work slower. If you need help, use a student to pace how fast they can actually do it. Find a few students and make an average. This way you don't go overboard on the amount of homework. And remember, you don't need to make more than one assignment. It's hard enough keeping track of more than one assignment altogether. But if you have more than one assignment in each subject, it is even harder to keep track. Even with a planner, you may forget to write in it, and you may just leave it out. And then you end up with some late work. Don't be the teacher who gives too much homework and makes 40-pound backpacks. Or 20-pound backpacks just for a night of homework, and this has 2 subjects in it. So remember, don't give a lot of homework. You'll get a bad reputation. It's debatable because of how kids learn, and it's very bad for our backs and our time. Have a questions bucket. When kids have questions that are related to the subject, say language arts, in other words, English, have them put their questions in a bucket so that you can pick them out every now and then when you have extra time and answer the questions. This way their questions are answered and you stay on topic during the whole class period. Any off-topic questions can go in here, such as, why are plurals different? Geese, mice, dogs, cattle.
Teacher Tips by Catherine Caputo. Written by a student for teachers.